All right. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I had to think about that earlier. March 1st. I can't even believe it's March 1st. And if anybody is in our Simple Changes to Better Health group, today is the first day and we are going green, which means we are trying to eat as many green vegetables and posting about green vegetables in our group. But we are super excited that you are joining us tonight. I am Karen Orlowski. I live north of Atlanta, Georgia. It was beautiful weather here. We were talking about the weather a little bit ago. And we are just so grateful that you are taking time out of your busy schedule to join us to learn more about, I'm on the wrong slide, to learn more about, there we go, inspiring healthy living. Let me see, it is not. There we go. I had to move the bar out of the way to be able to do this. So we are going to be doing a short presentation, actually 2 short presentations. What we're going to be doing is talking about simple changes for better health in the beginning. And then we're going to be kind of stopping that and asking if there's any questions and then doing a short presentation afterwards. So I'm super excited that you guys are here because this has been a journey for me. I don't know if like anybody else, but I did not grow up healthy. I actually, God rest her soul, my mom was a nurse, so we grew up with treatment. We did not grow up with prevention and, you know, don't eat that Pop-Tart and don't drink that Coke. So, okay, so let's talk about how unhealthy we are as a society, as Americans. I have heard people say that we're eating the SAD diet, which is the standard American, diet. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will develop diabetes. Let me change this so I can see. And then 1 in 5 children is obese. And Dr. David Katz, who was the head of the preventative medicine department at Yale University, said, our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. That's pretty powerful and sad. We are constantly, all day long, we come in contact with toxins that we don't have control over, environmental toxins. We have a lot of control over things inside our house. Like I try to use all natural toothpaste and deodorant and things like that. But once we go outside, we don't have control over that. And so that's one of the reasons we need to. We're going to talk about a program at the end where we can actually detox some toxins. Let's talk about how the food quality is decreasing. 2 of the most important things on this slide, in my opinion, is, and I actually just saw the statistic the other day and it's updated, which is sad because the number got higher. More than 57% of what Americans eat is processed. So the number is not going down, it's going up, which is the wrong way. And if we take a look at, that list, genetically modified, if you're reading, I heard Dr. Pohl say, if you're looking at a package and it has more than 3 or 5 ingredients that is a food and that you can pronounce, then you probably shouldn't be eating it. You need to re-examine that. And then broccoli, with the way that food is shipped, if you take a look in the produce section, take a look at where are the berries coming from and the apples. And, a lot of them are coming across from, transportation. Hopefully they're making it on the trucking system. They're coming by boat. They're being shipped from California. Florida oranges actually go all around the country. We never got them in Florida when I was there, so I don't know where they went. And so by the time you get that produce, a lot of it has decreased. Once you pick it, it doesn't ripen anymore. It actually rots. And that was a huge eye-opener for me. So think about that when you're getting your produce. A lot of the apples, I also learned that apples, if you're getting apples in winter, early, like January, February, like right now, most of them are grown and we're getting them in the fall season. And they've been in cold storage, sometimes for as long as 6 months. So they've just constantly lose nutrition. All right, oxidative stress. Has anybody heard of the term antioxidants? I know I had always heard that, but I had no idea what it meant. So just sitting here watching the presentation, we are all oxidizing. And I know that sounds terrible, But we're oxidizing, which means that it's oxidative stress causes aging and disease. So just sitting here, our body is aging. We're getting a little bit older. And then oxidative stress also happens when you are working out. It happens when you are stressed. There's a lot of different times when we're creating more oxidative stress in our body, and oxidative stress causes free radicals, which is what damages the cells. And so the good news is there is something that can slow it down. There's nothing that can stop it, but we can slow it down. And antioxidants, which help kind of stop or slow down the oxidative stress, come from fruits and vegetables. So if you take a look at the apple, take a look at one side. When you bite into an apple or a banana or avocado, it starts to brown pretty quickly. But if you put lemon juice on that, which has antioxidants, it actually will stop it for a while. It slows down the browning, which is interesting. So the more fruits and vegetables we can eat, it's going to slow down the disease and the aging, which, I mean, who doesn't want that? I know I want that. So let's talk about how many servings of fruits and vegetables do we need? I don't know how old you guys all are, but I came from a time where it was like 5 to 9, and I still talk to people and I say, how many do you think you need? And they say 5 to 9, and it's not, because of the slide that we talked about before, where our produce is shipped so long. We're not getting it from the neighborhood, most of us aren't getting it from the neighborhood farmer. It's being shipped so far away. We need even more servings of fruits and vegetables every day. So 7 is for kids, 9 is for women, and 13 servings is for men. And athletes need even more. I have heard that they need 18 plus, depending on how much they're actually working out. So I would say good luck, because 93% of Americans are not getting the nutrition that they need every single day. So why so many? We talked a little bit about that before, but yeah, 90% of Americans are not getting enough servings of fruits and vegetables, and especially our kids. And so what's happening is Americans are trying to fill that gap. We know we're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. And so we're saying, okay, what can I do? Well, what's all over TV? And what does your doctor tell you to take? A multivitamin. And this was created years and years ago to prevent scurvy and rickets. And it just really was kind of it's a poor substitute for produce, quite honestly. It really does not replace a multivitamin that has isolated nutrition and synthetic nutrition coming from a lab. Does not replace the nutrition coming from an apple and coming from an orange and broccoli and other produce. So 70% of Americans are trying to fill the gap with a multivitamin. And if you look at the label that says supplement facts, I've never actually counted that. Let's just say that there's 20 ingredients. If you look at you can't even read the writing. If you can, I'm pretty impressed, but there is a page there that's actually one of 25 pages of what's in an apple. There's 10,000 ingredients in an apple. Scientists say that there's thousands and thousands of phytonutrients in produce. So I've heard that there's 13,000 ingredients in broccoli, 10,000 in a tomato. So imagine all of the nutrition that you're missing when you're trying to replace it with a vitamin that has maybe 20 different, ingredients in it. And it's just not the same. It also works in synergy, because you can't just take vitamin C and expect that to work in your body like when you eat an entire orange. So I know in the beginning, I talked about my mom being a nurse. I actually was adopted. I was adopted very young, and my birth mother had allergies and asthma. And so within a few years, I don't even know, it's for as long as I can remember, I had allergies and asthma. So probably as soon as I hit elementary school, I don't even know. And my mom being a nurse, I got the best treatment. I was getting allergy shots. I was on prescription allergy medication. I was on prescription asthma medication, but I had migraines as a child. I had digestive issues as a child. I was sick all the time. I was on antibiotics a few times a year for ear infections. I remember my dad just carrying me and me crying because I was in so much pain. So I really just did not have a great childhood. It was not full of, running around outside because I was allergic to grass. So it really was tough. And I was told by doctors that there was nothing that we could do because it was genetic. So the only thing we could do was to treat it with prescription medications and, good luck. So fast forward. So that's how I lived. Fast forward until I was 35 years old and pregnant with my son. And I was pregnant a couple of months, and my best friend came up to me and she said, I need to share something with you. And I laughed today going, why didn't you share it with me before? And so I think when we're pregnant is when we really, I don't know if I would have listened another time, but being pregnant, I wanted the best for my baby. And when she told me about Juice Plus, and you can, I hope you guys are looking at these ingredients, because there's no way I would eat all of these every single day 20 years ago or 17, 18 years ago. And I just was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And I know that I'm not getting that nutrition every single day. So I honestly thought that I would take it during the pregnancy and then stop, because I was always on a vitamin regimen, but I was taking isolated vitamins. So I took it during the pregnancy with my prenatal for that pregnancy. And by the end of the pregnancy, what I had realized was I wasn't allowed to take the prescription medicine, but I didn't need over-the-counter medication anymore. And it now has been, it'll be 18 years in May since I have had to take allergy medicine, asthma medicine. I haven't been on antibiotics. I don't get the migraines, the digestive issues. It really has just been a game changer. I'm healthier at 53 than I was at 23, honestly, which is amazing. So I'm so grateful. And then the other thing I want to add too is I really was nervous when I was pregnant that, oh my gosh, my kids are going to have the same health outcome that I did with allergies and asthma. And I am so blessed as a mom. What a mom win to know that it's not genetic, right? They do not have allergies and asthma. And the fact that I was able to get off of all my medication was great. We do have control over that. So what is Juice Plus? Juice Plus is nutrition from over 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. And we also have an omega that we'll go into. It is whole food nutrition that's harvested at the peak of ripeness, so the nutrition is intact. The produce is pulverized, not juiced, and dried into powders at low temperatures to preserve the nutrition. Plant powders are put into capsules or delicious chewables, which are for children. And then we have a full spectrum omega, which I'll go into. So the plant-based omegas, this was a game changer, I think, for a lot of people, because I had always heard that we needed to take an omega-3. And for some reason, I used to take them sporadically off and on, because I don't think I ever felt comfortable with the omega that I was taking. I wasn't sure if it actually was working inside my body. And then Juice Plus came out with their omega, their plant-based omega. So plant-based, I don't know how many of you have heard, right? Like we need to eat fish for our omegas, or we need to take a fish oil to get the omegas. Guess what? We can save the poor fish, because the fish only have omegas because of the plants they eat in the ocean. It's only because of the omega-rich algae and different plants that they eat in the ocean that they have omegas. So we are skipping the fish. And Juice Plus has our own algae farm in Hawaii. And it is not just omega-3, but is an omega-3, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And omegas are good for heart, brain, joint, skin, and eyes. And we have, more information on that if anybody wants any. But I will also add too, that besides just taking this and it helping me on the inside, I also use it as a moisturizer several times a week.
I do too.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh, Dr. Nalani, you're here. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Why don't you go ahead and take over?
I know. I've been here for about 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish you
it's okay. Are you kidding? I'm the one who's sorry. Thank you. Wow. So the complete shakes are amazing. I know I've tasted other shakes before, and it's just amazing. But what's more amazing about it are the ingredients. If you look at broccoli, radish, alfalfa sprouts, all of these things, you wouldn't believe that they were in it because it tastes so good. The important point is that this is your macronutrient. This is what the brain uses. The brain uses the macronutrients. It uses sugar, really. Well, it just depends on what kind of sugars you have. And so the complete shakes are vegan, made with non-GMO ingredients, gluten and dairy free, and that's extremely important today. 13 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber, and it's low on the glycemic scale. So it does stabilize the blood sugar. And there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of question about soy. And just know that, as it says here, the safety of soy depends on the source. The whole soybean, minimally processed, as found in the Juice Plus Complete, provides the best and most balanced defense against disease. And this is from an oncologist, PhD dietitian. And just know that one of those studies, we have so many studies, and one of the studies was done at MD Anderson with a population that, well, you want to be careful with every population. However, with stage 4 ovarian cancer patients, ovarian cancer is a very difficult cancer to deal with. I know, that's how I lost my mom. And so they had one of those tests, and I'm not going to go through the details. You can get in touch with the person who invited you and learn more about those details. However, complete shakes was a part of that study, and they had amazing results. Just know that soy is a bean. It's not an animal. Animals have estrogen. Soy does not have estrogen. So we can give you articles and videos that really teach you more about the soy, but this is amazing.
I love that. That was so simple that you said it's a bean and not an animal and it doesn't have estrogen. So we actually, Dr. Nalani is just so wise. We actually did a soy event, and we have copies, like we have recordings of that event if anybody needs that information as well. Okay, Nalani.
Oh, all righty.
I'm going to keep going.
Okay, so Juice Plus this is relatively new. In fact, it's very new, and we're very excited about it because if you look at what it says here, it is tailored for performance, right? It's the Juice Plus Perform. And however, we have learned from an obstetrics and a very, very popular doctor that it's really good for pregnant women too. So it is delicious fruit fusion flavored shake that gives you the protein to build your muscles. 25 grams of protein, plant-based protein with B vitamins and all that you need, all that you could use to help you recover. So we can go to the next one. Now, as you've seen from what Karen has been sharing, Juice Plus is very unique. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, like Juice Plus. It's food, it's not a multivitamin, it has a food label, it has non-GMO ingredients, it's vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. It's NSF certified, which is far more stringent than simply organic. And it's certified to show that what's on the label is exactly what's in it and nothing else, which they have found in certain foods, health food stores. I won't name them, but they have found that they had contaminants in some of the organic products that are on the shelf. And there's no certification that shows you that it's not there, and mold and all those kinds of things. So it is, and this is what we're most proud of, because anybody can have a testimony, right? Everybody has a testimony. But we can not and we can share our testimony because of the research, okay? It is the most researched nutritional product in the world, with right now 44 studies and counting. So we invite you to bridge the gap. Bridge the gap between what you may eat and what you should eat. There's another gap though. There's a gap. Even if you eat a lot of what's on the right side, there's still a gap between what you eat and what you get from what you eat. How much of that are you really getting? And that's the question. So this can help bridge the gap. I love the research. I just love the research. So what is gold standard research? It's randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. What does all of this mean? It means that you cannot pay for a result. People don't understand. They say, oh, they paid for their own research. Of course they did. Who else is going to pay for it? However, you're paying for a question. So let's say you wanted to know if this makes a difference in the cardiovascular system, or in the immune system, right? That's the question. Does this make a difference? Do these fruit and veggie powders make a difference? And then you stand back and let the researchers do their work. And then not only that, but it is, I'm looking for where it says peer reviewed, because there are doctors and researchers who do the research, and then they even get reviewed. Their work gets reviewed. So thousands of doctors are recommending Juice Plus because of the research. And if you just look at all of what we have here, 44 studies that proves, for instance, that it supports the immune system, helps maintain healthy DNA, quality of life, and inflammatory response. Inflammation is at the basis of every disease known to man. Dr. Du Bois, one of the nation's top infectious disease doctors, says, and I ask you to listen to these words because it's powerful. There is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription. Any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. There's nothing more to say about that. Do you want to go ahead, Karen?
I can. Oh my gosh, Nalani, I could listen to you all day long. So not only do we have research with the capsules and on the product, but the company has such a heart that they wanted to do something with the kids because they realized that, you know, if we only have so much money, a lot of times parents will get something for the kids, but then we leave ourselves out. And if we're not healthy, we can't take care of not only ourselves, but we can't take care of our families. So the family health study, for every adult that signs up, whether you get capsules or chewables, you can sponsor a child and they can actually get Juice Plus for free, ages 4 through undergrad and college, which is phenomenal. And that's for up to 4 years for a free product. I mean, I don't know any other company that does that where you can get free product for your child. It's essentially giving them free fruits and vegetables. So it doesn't replace the fruits and vegetables that they're supposed to eat, but it's again going to bridge the gap. And what we see often, and it says here in the research, this research is done with the parents. It's a National Research Foundation. 61% start to eat more fruits and vegetables. So, you know, how awesome would that be? Let's go over the tower garden because a lot of people love to grow their own. When I lived in Florida, I was not successful at growing a garden at all. Something would always come eat it before I could get to it. And when the company came out with the tower garden, which is, I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago, I was very skeptical because I had not been successful growing. But I will tell you, my tower gardens, I have 2 of them. I actually have one of each. I have the tower garden home and the flex, and they grow despite me. So, I mean, I have let them run out of water. I, don't always check the pH. I don't always add the minerals, and they still flourish. The taste of the produce is amazing. I mean, it's so much fun. I got these when the kids were little, and my daughter would just go up and just pick the tomatoes and the cucumbers and everything right off of the tower. And I love that it's organic. So as long as you don't spray it and you use organic seeds, you can have an organic garden. So let's talk about our community. I love our community. Whoops. I love our community because it actually, quite honestly, has kept me healthy, because I think a lot of us need accountability, to stay healthy with that. It's more fun to get healthy and stay healthy when you're in a group. And one of the things our company has done is we have a website with a bunch of different resources on there. We actually have cookbooks for oh my gosh, the complete balls. We talked about the complete. We have an air fryer cookbook. We have a crock pot cookbook. We have the shred. Let's talk about the shred, actually, because next Monday in a week, we are going to be shredding in our health group. If you guys are not in our Facebook health group, Simple Changes to Better Health, you are going to want to have the person that invited you to this or is sharing the recording send you an invite to that group, because every single month we do some sort of challenge. This month is Go Green, but every single first Monday of each month we shred, and it's only for 10 days. And it really is a lifestyle program. We're kind of helping you live how we're supposed to be living, with eliminating some of the bad and adding in and focusing on the good. And I'll tell you, by the first couple of days are tough, but by day 3, you're really feeling good. And at the end of 10 days, most people make that some part of their continued lifestyle. They still have fun, but it really is a great program. We have a cookbook for you. We have resources for you. We have a shopping guide. In that group, we have some accountability. So it is so much fun. We're not going to tell you good luck. We're going to help you through that. So ask the person who is, let me stop sharing. Ask the person who invited you for more information about the shred. Okay, so I want, Nalani, you didn't tell your story, because I was surprised all of a sudden I saw you pop up. So I want you to tell your story, and then I'm going to have Melissa, and then I'm going to have Renee.
All righty. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1996 and told by more than one doctor that my only option was surgery. Thankfully, I was introduced to a doctor, a naturopath, who taught me to heal myself with no drugs, no herbs, and without a lot of vitamins, using proper thinking and proper nutrition. That made me go back to school because I thought I was healthy. I'd been studying nutrition since 1968. So after healing myself, I was really the food police, sorry to say. I was juicing every single day. If it wasn't organic, my nose was in the air, I wasn't going to buy it. And so I was eating extremely clean because I didn't want to get that diagnosis again. And I was juicing, like I mentioned, every single day. Still, with all that clean eating, I lost range of motion in one of my hands due to inflammation, which was arthritis. And that's when I heard about Juice Plus. And we don't make claims that it's going to heal you or cure you, but it gave me what I thought I was getting from the fruits and the vegetables that I was juicing. Live, whole, raw nutrition at the cellular level. I call it superior nutrition. And it didn't happen overnight yet either. Over time, though, I regained complete range of motion in my fingers. I love taking Pure Barre classes, very intense classes. And I, at the age of 73, am loving the energy that I'm feeling like I was in my 30s. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, I'm just going to interrupt, because who doesn't want to look like Nalani who doesn't want to look like that at 73? I know I do.
Yeah, if she wasn't going to call herself out, I was going to.
Oh.
And every time I see you, I'm going to go to bed with my omegas on my face tonight. So
It'll rub off.
I'm always wonder what the orange tint is. But hi guys, if you don't know me, my name's Melissa, and I am a clinical staff pharmacist at a local hospital where we live. And I've, for the last 5 years, worked in an infusion center. And it's kind of funny because a lot of things Karen and Dr. Nalani said sort of talk about my journey. So I started about 5 or 6 years ago to try to get healthier. And I was introduced by a friend who I knew was very, very healthy. So I was like, if she thinks it's good, I'll take it. And I don't always share this, but the reason I started was fertility, because we were going through fertility treatments, and I was 35 or 36, so I had to do IVF. There was nothing else I could do. And this was something that was recommended to me. Now, I didn't take it the way I was supposed to. So that is, but I do like to share my story with people because I did so many things, and this was just simple nutrition. And I started to learn about the science behind it, about the research that Nalani showed us. I mean, that's what we learned in pharmacy school, peer-reviewed, bioavailable, studied actually on the product, not just like on a lemon. It's actually studied on the product. And I think a funny part of my story is I'm so stubborn, and for you guys that know Sharon, I'm pretty sure I was on a 3-way call with Sharon. And I was like, I don't want to talk about soy. Soy sucks. I don't want to hear anything about it. And now I laugh because I'm like, oh shoot, Sharon's like a goddess. But there's so much to learn, and being healthy can be complicated, unpleasant, confusing, and this just sort of is your easy button. And if you think of it as part of your grocery bill and part of your health plan, and like we said, it's not, I can't tell you it's going to do X, Y, or Z for you, but I can tell you my skin is always clear. My nails don't grow, so I won't be the one to tell you my nails grow, but I don't have afternoon slumps. I'm not tired. And I hope I'm doing bar classes at 73. So I'll pass it over to Renee.
Thanks, Melissa. Hi, everybody. I'm Renee Porter. And very similar to the stories that you've heard and the testimonies that you've heard as well. Karen, who was hosting us this evening, actually introduced me to Juice Plus a couple of years ago. It took me a little while to get on board, but I and my husband were on our own health journey. And I was taking and making a plan. I'm a type A planner, very organized. So I wanted to make a plan as to what my health journey was going to look like. And so there were several things I had to check off my list. And then as I educated myself and learned about inflammation and understood and started actually learning to read ingredient labels, if you're not doing that, I highly suggest that you start. What I found were a lot of things, including in the over-counter, the supplements that we were taking had soybean oil. So a lot of these soybean oils, corn oils, vegetable oil, canola, a lot of these things are sort of hidden in a lot of the ingredients that we were eating that I thought we were doing really well, because, marketing is a ploy, to say the least, to get you to buy something. So as we went through that, it came to what were we going to take for supplements. I looked at organic, I looked at all these different things. And then Karen and I reconnected, and she introduced me again to Juice Plus. And I really took the time to read the ingredient labels, which really didn't take that long, because everything that was in the bottle was on the back of the bottle: fruits, vegetables, berries, plant-based omegas. So I thought, you know what? My health is worth something to me. And I've worked in the medical field for 29 years. And what I discovered is I'm either going to pay a little bit more upfront to have longevity and quality of life as I live, or I'm going to not do that, and I'm going to pay a lot more at the end of my life. And most insurance plans have probably a $25 copay for primary care and a $55 or greater for specialty care. And I thought, gosh, if I went to the doctor, twice a month, that would be the equivalent of what I'm probably going to pay for a month's worth of Juice Plus. And it's very close. So my husband and I got started on it. It will be a year in May that we've been taking it. And very similar to Dr. Nalani and Melissa's stories, I have more energy. The omegas, my gosh, are just fabulous. My anxiety has come down. I feel less stressed. I want to get out. I want to exercise. I want to, clean out my pantry and my refrigerator and not go, oh my gosh, there's just so many good things to say about Juice Plus. At the end of the day, I have a better sense of well-being. For my husband, we've been married almost 30 years this year. He'd been taking, blood pressure medication for at least half of that, if not greater. And at 6 weeks after having been on Juice Plus, the fruits, vegetables, and berries only at that time, we introduced omegas a little bit later. He went into his primary care physician, had a new nurse that took his blood pressure. He said, I looked at that guy and said, new nurse doesn't know what he's doing, manual blood pressure. So he asked the guy to take it again, got a second blood pressure. He said, I know that's not my blood pressure. So the physician comes in and he says, Chuck, you need to take blood pressure because I think a nurse that you had doesn't know what they're doing. Took the blood pressure, and my husband's blood pressure was usually like 140-ish over like 82 to 83. It was 119 over 72. And I want to pause for just a moment, because that was very eye-opening for me, because in the medical field, you were raised, trained, and exposed to take a pill for everything. And I had encouraged that, only to discover Juice Plus all these years later and to find out that what we were missing was just basic food, good nutrition in our bodies. So needless to say, his medication has been scored in half. We continued our journey with the goal of him coming off of that completely. And as for me, at 53, I don't take medications. I take Juice Plus. And so I just share that story to encourage other people. Again, to what Melissa and Dr. Nalani and Karen have spoken about, we don't promote that Juice Plus is a cure-all for anything. But if we give our bodies what it truly needs, then we get in return the optimal functionality that we're supposed to get. Anyway, thank you.
Oh my goodness. Well, you had me tearing up. That's not normal. Oh my gosh. I love those stories, you guys. I mean, the presentation part, I always race through because I always want to get to the stories. Those are just, that's where the power is. Okay, so I want to thank everybody who's looking at the recording. I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to ask and see if there's any questions. So again, go, please contact the person who's sending you the recording and get started on Juice Plus.